welcome back to A Good Life Farm. So I am in the kitchen making a kind of a shortcut bit of a soup today. I am loving these cooler mornings and evenings. Now it's still getting warm during the day, but this morning I was wearing a hoodie. This evening I'm sure I'll be wearing a hoodie. And I'm going to be a little bit busy later on, so I'm making dinner early. And like I said, I'm making kind of a shortcut soup. I can throw this together and then I can go do what I need to do and just like re-warm it up at dinner time. And I am making lasagna soup. So this is a great recipe if you've got leftover lasagna noodles. Anytime I make lasagna, I never use all of the noodles. I've always got some left over. Or maybe broken ones that you don't really want to throw away, but you don't necessarily want to use them in the lasagna. Save those broken noodles or leftover noodles for this. So I am going to get started by dicing up some onion and some bell pepper. So you're going to need about a cup of diced onion. And for this recipe, I'm using a yellow onion, but you can also use a red onion, or you could use a white onion. Really quite flexible, and I would use any onion that you have on hand for this recipe. Now this recipe would take about a pound of ground beef, but I have some ground beef that is already cooked, and so I don't need to cook it. And ordinarily I would cook my onion and bell pepper along with the ground beef, but since my ground beef is already cooked, I'm going to need a little bit of cooking oil to saute these in, and so I'm going to add about a tablespoon or so of some extra virgin olive oil to my pot here, and I'm going to saute the onion and pepper together until they are tender. Alright, and my onion peels, of course, are going to go into my freezer bag full of onion skins and bits. And I'm saving this for the next time I make broth. Alright, so now I'm going to let these cook for a few minutes until the onion and pepper are tender. But when it's just about there, I'm going to add in 3 cloves of minced garlic. So here is my ground beef that's fully cooked, that was in the freezer. I'm going to add that in. Now I'm going to add in a jar of pasta sauce. You can use marinara, whatever your favorite pasta sauce is. This one is a 4-cheese variety. Add that in. You could use like a garlicky pasta sauce, whatever your favorite is. Like I said, this is all about being easy. Next we're going to add in some beef broth. You can use beef broth, beef stock, beef bone broth, whatever you got. Any one of those work just fine. We're going to add in a tablespoon of tomato paste, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and a little bit of salt and pepper, about a half a teaspoon or so of each. And we're just going to bring this up to a gentle boil and then reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so. Now I'm going to add in some lasagna noodles, and I didn't actually have any broken ones, so I'm just going to go ahead and break these up into pieces. You want about 7 or 8 lasagna noodles. And I'm going to go ahead and add some veggies to my soup. If you were adding raw veggies, I would go ahead and put them in a little bit earlier on before you let it all simmer together. But I have some canned carrots that were diced up, so they're already cooked. I'm just going to drain off the liquid and add these to the pot. And the carrots are completely optional. You don't have to put those in there if you don't want to. If you just want this just to be kind of a more traditional lasagna type of soup, then you can omit those. Alright, I'm just going to throw the lid on and let that continue to simmer until the noodles are cooked through. So my noodles are cooked. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in some cheese, because lasagna is never complete without cheese. I've got a half a cup of grated Parmesan. I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to add in about a cup of shredded mozzarella. And we're just going to stir this in and let it melt into the soup. And then that is it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. Just let it sit here on the stove. And when it comes time to serve this, I will serve it with some more cheese sprinkled on top, and that'll be dinner. Hi friends, so I have been in my room here painting. I've been in the process of painting basically almost my entire house. It's something that I've been planning on doing for quite a while, and I'm finally getting around to do it. The weather is beautiful. I've been able to open my windows morning and evening, getting fresh air and all of that. So even though I'm using like paint that doesn't really have a lot of smell to it, there's still a little bit. And so I'm able to air out the house while I'm doing all of this. And I'm actually painting, let's see, my room, this is my bedroom. I'm painting it dove white, which is, I think it's one of my favorite colors to use now. I painted the faux shiplap in my kitchen Dove White, and from then on it's kind of been one of my favorite colors. I'm about 98% done painting my living room and my hallway all Dove White. I'm painting the master bedroom here Dove White. And you know, it's a white, but it's just kind of a creamy, just relaxing, gentle white. It's not stark, and so I really like it. But I wanted to show you something. I think it was last year, maybe even the year before. I had gone to an antique store and I had purchased a bulb drying rack that I had found there, and I actually went back and got 2 more of them because they had a few of them. But I never showed you what I did with one of them, so I'm going to show you that here. So this is the bulb drying rack, and I hung it here on the wall, and I used it to hang my earrings. And then next to it, this was actually an idea from my friend Julie. I saw where she did this in her house. I found an antique rake head, and I used that to hang up all of my necklaces. So most of the house when we moved in here, actually I think the entire house, was painted that beige color, just hideous. And I immediately painted the kitchen, painted my office, painted the living room and hall and bathrooms, but then the bedrooms just kind of stayed this color for a while because I was busy, you know, building a homestead here. But it is time to get rid of that hideous beige, and I had already done the other 2 bedrooms, but I had not done this one. And if you hear some noise coming from the other room, little Miss Willow is over with her parents, and they're all kind of playing in there. But yeah, I had just never gotten around to doing my bedroom, and so it is time. It is time to get the long list of things that I've been wanting to do here in the house, other than my kitchen, which I did finally do. It's time to get all that stuff knocked out and dealt with, and getting my house looking the way I want it to. So I thought I would come out onto the back porch, since it is absolutely beautiful outside this evening, and have dinner out here on the porch swing. So my lasagna soup got way thicker than I thought it would. So I don't have this recipe on my website. This is just something that I throw together now and again. As you saw, it was very much a shortcut kind of dinner. The lasagna noodles, I think these ones were a little bit bigger than the ones that I've used in the past, so they absorbed a lot of the liquid, so I would use a little bit less noodles. So this, instead of being a soup, is almost like a lasagna in a bowl, which I'm totally okay with that, because it is still just as delicious. So next week is going to be a very exciting week. I am headed up to Virginia for the Homesteaders of America conference. I've gone there, I think this will be my 3rd time going. I just love the kind of family reunion sort of atmosphere that it has, because you see people that you've interacted with online, but you never get to actually see in person, and so finally getting to hug their neck, or seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, and meeting new friends. For instance, last year when I went is when I really got to know Tangi and Jack from Freedom Homestead. That is when I met Anna from Fermented Homestead, and when I met Julie from Row & Co Farms. And we have all become really good friends. Tangi and Anna and Julie and I talk almost every single day on Marco Polo. We just have ongoing conversations, sharing our days with one another. It's been really nice creating those friendships. And so I'm really looking forward to being able to see them again. Anna and Julie will both be going to the Homesteaders of America conference. We're actually going to be sharing an Airbnb, which will be a ton of fun, I am sure. Unfortunately, Tangi is not going to be able to make it. Her and her family actually have plans. They are spending some family time, which I cannot blame them. Who can turn that down? But yeah, so it's going to be a very exciting week. Next week, I am going to do my very best to get some videos filmed and scheduled. That way there won't be any gaps. I know I've had a few of them the past couple weeks. It's just, there's been a lot going on. And as I always say, I'm a one-woman show. I don't have anybody that edits videos for me or anything like that. And if I don't have time to sit down and do a video, it's not going to get done. So it is what it is. But I am really looking forward to that, and I know it's going to be a great time. It's a long drive, but it'll be totally worth it. So if you are going to be going to the Homesteaders of America conference, be sure to keep an eye out for me, and I would love for you to come up and say hello. So that is it for today. Thanks for kind of hanging out with me today. I am going to enjoy my dinner and enjoy this lovely quiet evening. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I'll talk to y'all next time.